was a blow to us, but I thought we adapted quite well. I know we've come away with a disappointing result, but it certainly wasn't a disappointing performance. We done a lot of really good things today, and maybe played one of our best games away from home, and we've had some very good results away from home, but we couldn't finish it off.
I wouldn't say I'm at my best yet. Obviously I'm still dealing with an injury, so hopefully it gets better and better, but I've still got a bit to go. I know what I can offer when I'm fully fit, so hopefully I'll get there soon.
We're very used now to seeing fullbacks playing inverted midfield positions. Pep started doing that a long time ago.
Never with two, huh?
No, exactly. You've got Reece James and Malo Gusto in there.
Yeah, no, they are both good players, and when they are good players, for me, they can play in any position.
And he took his goal very well as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he took the chance, the assist for goal, the first goal. So very happy for Malo.
Well, he was smiling with Steve there, but then Maresca went into his press conference and said this.
The last 48 hours has been the worst 48 hours since I joined the club, because many people didn't support us.
What do you mean in terms of the not people supporting you in the last 48 hours?
Worst 48 hours since I joined the club, because people didn't support me and the team.
People
in general.
Peter?
Do you mean fans or?
I love the fans, and we are very happy with the fans.
Right, we'll get on to that. Excuse me, in just a moment. But that was
you.
I know, yeah, come on, all emotional. What did you? It was a big win for Chelsea, that.
It was a huge win after recent results. Not one in three. A little bit of discontent around for some reason, because I think there's lots of positives for Chelsea at the moment, and there has been a few hiccups. But yeah, a big result, and the star of the show was probably not someone we'd have predicted in Gusto. What an amazing performance! Now we've seen him play occasionally in midfield, normally a right back, and then drifting into these positions. I mean, this is a wonderful pass. Palmer dictating where he wants. Great to see him back for anybody that loves watching football. And it's perfect pace, good vision. We've talked about Reece James many times and how wonderful he is in terms of his technical ability and passing range, but Gusto's got a lot of that too. They're actually blessed with two players who can both play right back and both play midfield. I mean, he's hitting diagonals with his left foot there from the middle of the pitch. Incredible array of passes he's capable of. And then, of course, when he is in his more orthodox fullback position, he's willing to get forward with the ball, travel with the ball, and then, more importantly, not admire his passing, but get into dangerous areas. We see him in dangerous areas very often every time we watch Chelsea play. And again, talk about weak foot finish. Terrific. So he's got a bit of a problem, really, the manager, in James and him. Do they swap, or do they just let them freely swap when they play and work it out, which is fine from two intelligent players? Getting in front of Grealish there, and again making the right pass, releasing João Pedro to nearly get them another goal. So yeah, really.
But that's great options to have, isn't it?
Great options.
Very good.
And the great thing as well is he can defend one-on-one. He's decent with his defensive work.
So he then goes into that press conference, Maresca. So he says, in the last 48 hours, many people don't support us. He was pushed about whether he meant the fans. He said, no, I don't have a problem with the fans. They mentioned the media. Can't believe he's really that bothered what the media say or don't say about him. That has to be directed internally, doesn't it?
He wants us and others to talk about that. We wouldn't have mentioned this at all if he hadn't.
Well, it wouldn't have even crossed our radar.
There's no doubt about that. He's directing that at the board or the owners, and my guess is that he doesn't feel as if he's getting the protection after a defeat like they had in midweek, and obviously that hurts him. But Chelsea's a very different football club now to what it was 20, 15 years ago in terms of who they buy, the players they want to develop, young players. And it is difficult to compete with the very best when you're doing that, because it does take time to bed younger players in and develop them. But in the big picture with Chelsea, I think he's doing a good job.
Well, the big picture, when you look at what the points are that they have gained under him, you know, he bet that's 13 behind Liverpool. You know, only Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City ahead of them. Do you think he's saying, well, you know, bearing in mind what this business model is, young players, and we sign them on long-term contracts, but maybe slightly lower wages, and then we try and sell them on for a profit, some of them. What more do you expect me to do? Do you think that's what he's saying?
Yeah, I do, more or less, and I agree with that. But he's got to be careful. I think you have to realise the owners you're working for and the club you're working for. He's been given an amazing opportunity to manage a massive football club after only managing Leicester. So, did he expect to gain control because he won the Conference League? You know, let's put it in perspective. He's got to be careful. If he starts talking...
He also won the Club World Cup. Well, yeah, but you can pull that face. But they beat Paris Saint-Germain in the final, and it's a tournament that they value.
He's done well. There's no doubt. I'm not doubting he hasn't done well. What I'm saying is that football is ruthless, and these are multi-billionaire owners, and if they feel that their manager's talking directly to them through the press, it's not going to end well for him. He's got a wonderful opportunity to have success with Chelsea. Maybe just pick your moments to be quiet.
OK.
That works. It's TV.
I know.
The big thing is, as we said, if he hadn't have gone into his press conference and brought this up, none of this would have been mentioned. So he clearly wants.
Do you think he gets the least credit out of? You know, when we showed that list there, so Arteta and Slot and Guardiola and even Emery and Howe. Do you think he gets less credit than those?
But
five?
I think Danny's right in what he says in terms of he's come from Leicester, now he's at Chelsea. So, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't see an issue with that.
OK.
And after a little blip, from a Chelsea point of view, look at the Premier League table there, guys, into 4th, but not in the title race for you, Tim Sherwood?
No, not enough quality and depth. The manager messes around with the team too much, makes too many changes. I think if Casado was fit, I know he's suspended at the moment, but if he kept himself fit and they added to the squad, I'm not buying into they're all too young, because... I don't put that... A lot of people say, well, the reason why they're so inconsistent is because they're all young. But I think there's experienced players who have bad games and are inconsistent as well. So I don't put it down to that. I just think there's not enough quality in depth that when they get injuries to their main players, they can cope with them. And also, I just think he messes around with the team too much when it's unnecessary.
And Aaron, if Chelsea are going to get closer to those... Well, particularly, I know Villa are ahead of them, but, you know, closer to Manchester City, closer to Arsenal. They need Cole Palmer fit and starting and amongst the goals, and he did that today. First goal since mid-September.
Yeah, of course, he's instrumental for them, and when he's not on the pitch, you can really notice that with Chelsea. So, yeah, there's no coincidence. He comes back in, starts the game, and, scores the goal so early on, and he just makes things happen. He makes it look quite effortless at times, the way he glides past players. He picks up these lovely little pockets, his movement, he knows when to run in behind. He has a great bit of movement there, look. As soon as he had it on the half-turn, Gusto, he knew. Yeah. So he's just off into that space, and then that's a great finish as well. Give the keeper the sort of eyes and then put it back into the near post. So for me, he's instrumental for Chelsea when they're winning and playing well. I think he has a big part to say in that.
Yeah, the timing of the run there is just exquisite. You know, when Gusto gets turned, he almost makes his mind up. Just shows him his number and he just rolls it into the path. He makes the pass easy because of the timing of the run, and the finish is just Cole Palmer. That's what he does.
Yeah. And Malo Gusto, who set up that Cole Palmer goal just before half-time, got Chelsea second, and it was out of sight after this, wasn't it, Tim?
Yeah. I mean, look where he comes from. I mean, Gusto, he starts to move. He's got so much energy and power, and he's... You know what? He's flexible, playing different positions. I think he's having a great season as well, Pedro Neto. But he bombs into the box. He started to move off, and he finishes it with his left foot, tucks it past Pickford, gives them absolutely zero chance. And the game's over then. You know, once they get 2 ahead, they're clinical. Chelsea players are clinical. They have got very, very good players. The problem is they've just not got enough of them. They've got enough of them in some really important areas of the field. Reece James run the game from midfield today. For me, he's an absolutely top draw player. Wherever you ask Reece James to play, I think he's the best player on the pitch. And I think he was today.
Look, interesting quote from Enzo Maresca as well after the game, because we heard from him there, and, he said he was happy, didn't he, in that interview that we just heard. But in the later press conference, he said the last 48 hours has been the worst 48 hours since I joined the club, because many people didn't support us. When pushed on it, he said it wasn't the fans. What could he mean there, Tim?
No idea. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe he's heard what I think about him, but maybe some ex-Chelsea players are not happy with some. I don't know, really.
48 hours since I joined the club. It's a strong statement.
Yes, it's weird, but he's doing a decent job. Don't worry about the outside noise. Just concentrate on what you do. I'm sure he does, and don't let anything from outside the club, outside the dressing room, affect what you're doing, because you can't complain of what the job he's doing at the moment. I was just giving my honest opinion. If I felt they can win the Premier League, I think no, because they haven't got the quality in depth, and I think he does mess around. He tinkers too much with the team.
So no confirmation from Al Slot as to whether or not there has been an apology from Mo Salah. Wouldn't be drawn either way. Right, let's turn our attention to events in the other 3 o'clock kickoff this afternoon in the Premier League, where Chelsea won by 2-0 against Everton. Cole Palmer opening the scoring. Merce for Chelsea this afternoon against Everton, who arrived at the Bridge in really good form as well. Was it largely comfortable for the home side?
Yeah, bar probably a 10-minute spell and a couple of chances. Bar that, yeah, I think if you look at it, the way Everton have been planned, the way they've been, bar the Newcastle game, I thought it was a very good result for Chelsea. I thought it'd be a tight game today and started well. I think the one thing I would come out with this, and the manager, Thomas Tuchel, watching, Reece James could easily play as the holding midfield player for England.
Really?
Easily play as the holding midfield player. I think he was absolutely outstanding. He was outstanding against Arsenal in there. He was outstanding today. Does everything simple, always sees the danger. And as you're a holding midfield player, that's the main thing. That's what makes Rodri different to everybody else. He sees danger.
Yeah.
And he gives the ball very simple. James doesn't look to play 60, 70-yard balls. Gets it, gives it, lets the other players get on with it. I think that's what Tuchel would have took out of today.
Well, before we go any further than this, let's just hear from the Chelsea boss now, Enzo Maresca.
Enzo, before the match, we were talking about what the narrative would be, but 2-0 win, a clean sheet in the top 4. Very happy day at the office for you?
Yeah, happy. It's important to win a games after 2-3 games that we didn't win. It's important for the players, and yeah, we are happy.
A couple of wonderful assists as well today, both the Pedro Neto one and for the opening goal as well, Malo Gusto. Is that something that you're just accustomed to seeing now in training and in all the matches?
Yeah, especially, from Pedro. Pedro used to score goals, assist. From Malo, it's a bit different, but again, Malo is doing very well.
In terms of character of the team, you've asked a lot of them. You wanted a response, you wanted a reaction, but especially in front of the home fans, that was important to you in the programme today. What do you think they showed you with this performance?
I think the reaction was good. They want to win every game. They try to win every game, knowing that it's impossible. Sometimes we struggle a little bit more. Sometimes we are able to win the game. But again, I think in this moment it was very important for the players to win the game.
Chalobah and Fofana, when they play together, a number of clean sheets. Now, you're nodding along to that. I spoke to Malo about it as well, and he said he feels that stability. Are you seeing that? Yeah, absolutely. That's why we said many times that it's important they both fit. It's important also the ones in behind of them, that they are ready when we need them.
And picking up what Lindsay was saying there about the defence, there's now 8 clean sheets so far this season, the joint most with the leaders, Arsenal. How have they become defensively so good this season?
Well, I think, first of all, every week, bar the last 3 weeks, they've had Caicedo sitting in front of the back 4. I think that's a massive, massive difference. Yeah, and they're solid. They don't bomb forward. They don't really open the game up. They're not really expansive, Chelsea, when I go and watch. It's not like the other teams break and it's 3v5 and you're sitting there going, where is everybody? They're solid. They make sure they don't get beat and then they go from there. So, yeah, but Chalobah, I mean, I think it was his 100th game.
It was, yeah.
100th game. Fair play to him. I mean, a year ago, they were trying their hardest to get him away, and he's come back into the team. And now, for me, he's first choice centre-half at the moment, in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, you talk about the quality of right back at the club.
Yeah.
You talk about keeping clean sheets, but the 2 centre-halves, they swapped that a few times and Corwell's been injured. You've got Cucurella, who's probably one of the best left-backs in the world. You've got Reece James as right-back, or Gusto, whatever one. James is up there as one of the best right-backs in the world. So, they're not struggling defensively. They're just a little bit got to be more expansive going forward. I don't see him blowing teams away 5 and 6.
100th start for Chalobah today. Just in terms of going forward, that opening goal from Cole Palmer was poetry, wasn't it?
Yeah, because of the way they broke, and it was so quick. And then Gusto to get the ball, he takes one touch, and then Palmer goes. You know, a very intelligent footballer, Palmer, top draw, and it's a great ball through, and it's just so calm. That's what I love about him. He never panics. He's always calm, and he just gives the goalkeeper the eyes and puts it in. So yeah, pleased that he scored. And then they looked after him, took him off after about 60 minutes. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, I tell you what, Chelsea won't let in a goal like they just let in. Burnley.
Wow. Well, we're going to go to that because we're in a run of 6 defeats in a row. This is the kind of start you absolutely don't need. You saw it, Clinton.
Yeah, I think it's...
I mean, Scott Parker must be absolutely
Let me tell you something.
furious.
I think it's Hartman. I think it is the left back. It's a corner that... No, yeah, it is Hartman. It's a corner that's played in by Wilson. Oh my! He just completely misses it. You can tell me it bounced off the surface. No way. He's meant to be in the near post zone, and he's that side of the near post zone. Wilson plays it through. He completely misses it, and Smith Rowe's got a tap in. It is absolutely terrible defending. Am I right or wrong, Tim?
No, you're right. But Tete moves him, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Tete moves him, and it's well worked. It's off the training ground, but it's terrible defending.
When you're doing the training ground, though, you're thinking it's never going to work.
No, it don't happen. That's far-fetched, this one.
Yeah. But it's worked, and Fulham lead by a goal to nil on Sky Sports Premier League, and Burnley already staring down the barrel of 7 Premier League defeats in a row. The last time they did that at the top flight was just the 130 years ago. Long way to go, but a terrific start for Fulham. Nightmare for Burnley in the opening stages. Let's get back to the game between Chelsea and Everton. Chelsea winning by 2-0. Let's get the post-game reflections from David Moyes.
David, for you this afternoon, were there frustrating moments watching on in that performance?
I thought there was some really good moments. I thought we played really well today. We've done well away from home. I thought today we've done really well. Obviously, you can't say that when you lose 2-0, but I thought overall our performance was good.
The finishing, I think sometimes the crosses into the box, there's just not quite that connection, but another day they might have gone in.
Absolutely correct. I think you're right. I think that maybe in the final third we needed it. They were clinical on their 1 or 2 moments they did get. We weren't as clinical in our moments when we get in on goal. So that probably just a bit was the difference in the game, really.
It was unfortunate early on, 13th minute, that Keane and Dewsbury Hall had to come off. It looked like a right hamstring that he was grabbing. From your perspective, what do you think about that going forward?
I think the same. We'll find out later what it is, you know. He had a bit of tightness already, so he felt it a bit in the game.
We spoke about the players that you're going to be missing from AFCON now going forward. Navigating that period, David, are you already thinking about that? And have you seen enough from the bench as what your options are?
Well, look, it'll be difficult to replace Elaine Jai and Ghana. Both of them are really important players for them and done well. But when you sign African players, you have to accept that they're going to the AFCON. And so that's part of it. And you know, we want them to do well for their country.
Now joins us. Henry, are you surprised by this declaration by Enzo Maresca? Look, we know that he if he wants to say something, he does, right? He does. He goes for it. But this is a big statement. You know, the worst 48 hours he's experienced since being Chelsea boss.
100%. But what we're so easy to forget is how fickle of a sport football is. You know, Enzo Maresca yesterday got handed Premier League Manager of the Month. We had a great month. We beat Barcelona. We drew to Arsenal with 10 men. We beat Spurs. And then all of a sudden we turn into December and we can't beat Leeds. They beat us 3-1. A team who hasn't won in, I don't know how many games before that. We draw to Bournemouth. We lose to Atalanta. And then all of a sudden, football fans are so quick to forget what has been so good.
Henry, listen, I want to talk about the football, but I've just heard these comments now, and this is an absolute joke, I'm sorry. If Maresca can't take the pressure of being the manager of a top club like Chelsea, having a draw, loss before today's win, I don't understand this. If you want to be the manager of a big club, you have to understand there's going to be scrutiny when you're not getting results, okay? That is just the nature of the game. I know that Maresca was a coach before, and now this is his biggest job, but ultimately, You can't let that affect you. You just got to get on with it. That's what football's all about. You play football in front of fans. You're there in front of the media. Why is he complaining for?
Why do you think he's done it, Henry? Because they've got their first win in 5, like Jay says, and it's been a tough week. It's been a tough little spell. Cole Palmer's got back in the goals. We'll talk about him in a minute. But why do you think Enzo Maresca's gone there?
I 100% agree with Jay. I think basically Maresca shouldn't have gone to the press. For me, it's quite similar to Salah, going to the press straight after the game and, making it about them. We look at this game today. We played Everton. We played really well. We won 2-0. We kept the clean sheet. Any problems that he has should be kept in-house. So I 100% agree with you. Maresca probably today should have, taken the result, taken the victory and just moved on from there. So, no, I 100% agree with Jay's point.
Henry, going forward, obviously, Reece James has been playing really, really well as a defensive midfielder there. He's like, do you know what? To be honest, the last few games, I'm going to say it's the best football I've seen Reece James play for a few years.
Okay.
He's been that good.
2021, Jay, I agree with you.
Yeah. But now, when Caicedo comes back, do you put Caicedo back in there with Enzo Fernandez, and obviously you've got Cole Palmer, and then put Reece James right back? Or do you say to Caicedo, maybe you have to, wait your turn?
Yes, again, Jay, I think you're being quite quick to forget how good Moises Caicedo is.
No, I love him. He's one of the best in the world.
Well, before the red card.
He's one of the best in the world. Sorry, Henry, let me just make that clear. He's one of the best in the world in his position. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's options now. And do you put Reece James back to right back, even though he's playing so well in midfield?
It's funny because actually Malo Gusto played very well. He was playing at right back
today.
That's true. Goal and an assist. I mean, the ball through to Palmer for the goal was beautiful.
And then getting a goal and assist for the first time ever in his career.
But he's saying these players are in form. These players are in form. So why change? This is one of the issues with Maresca, isn't it? And we were talking about this off air, that he has made so many team changes, like game to game in the Premier League, 47 team changes. And he's obviously rotating quite a lot because of being involved in different competitions. But for Reece James, I mean, this is a significant fact. First time that he's played 90 minutes 3 times in a week for a good 2.5 years. That's significant, isn't it? I mean,
there you go, Henry. Come on, tell us.
Reece James, he's suddenly performing and he can stay on the pitch all that time.
The thing is, Jay, I know you support Arsenal and you'll tell me how good Timber is as a right back. But for me, Reece James is not only the best right back in the Premier League, but when we watched Chelsea play Arsenal, he was also the best central midfielder in the Premier League. So I think what you have with Reece James is such a talent that it actually doesn't matter where he's playing. If Moises Caicedo comes back, we could see James play with Caicedo in that pivot. Or, if Enzo's still playing and Cole Palmer's still fit, we can see Reece James go back into right back. What Maresca has is he has such a depth of talent. And I think the reason there's been so much criticism on Maresca is, don't get me wrong, Cole Palmer's been out for 11 games out of the 16 in the Prem. Moises Caicedo's been out for 5. Levi Colwill, isn't playing because he'll be out for the majority of the season. So Maresca has got these faults, but Chelsea have spent so much money and have such a breadth of great young players. Maresca needs to rotate them and rotate them correctly. And that's why I think he's been under so much scrutiny this month.
Henry, one thing I will give you and one thing I will say, and I said this to you off air, David, if Reece James carries on playing like this, right, and he stays fit throughout the whole season, is England's right back. Without a doubt. There's no doubt about it. I've got a feeling you're going to agree with him on this, are you? He's England's right back because he's great at set pieces. He's good in defensive areas.
Yeah.
He's got vision. He can pass. He's got everything when he's fit.
Direct question, Henry. Will Reece James play right back for England at the World Cup? Yes or no?
I was wondering if Jay was making a question or a statement there.
It's kind of both. It's kind of how it rolls.
It's an open-ended one.
I'm assuming that's a yes, right? You're going to see him at right back in that first game at the World Cup.
Of course. I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, what Trent Alexander-Arnold offers is different. That I haven't really seen a fullback offer something as much as him. The directional balls he plays, the crossing is incredible. But you look at him, he's gone to Real Madrid now, and he's been pushed out of the side instantly by Arthur,
Just not got that consistency. Just not got that consistency. But this is it. James has played 90 minutes 3 times in a week, so I think he is starting to get there. We've got to go. We've got to go, Henry. But thank you so much.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. So, today we're looking at Chelsea's 2-0 win over Everton. On the surface, it seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but the material we've got in front of us tells a very different story. It's anything but simple.
Right. So our mission here is to sort of unpack 2 really conflicting narratives for you.
Exactly. First, there's the tactical side of things, which was surprisingly brilliant. We're talking defensive solidity, some amazing player versatility.
And then there's the second part, the absolute bombshell the manager, Enzo Maresca, dropped right after the match.
A bombshell that just completely overshadowed a great win.
And that's really the quote this whole dive pivots on. Maresca said, and I'm quoting here, "The last 48 hours has been the worst 48 hours since I joined the club because many people didn't support us."
Wow. So you've got this tactical masterclass on one hand and what sounds like, well, internal paranoia on the other.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the tactics because, that really laid the groundwork for the win itself. We've all heard of the inverted fullback.
Sure, Pep Guardiola kind of made it famous. The defender drifts into midfield.
Right. But what Chelsea did here was have 2 of them doing it at the same time. Reece James and Malo Gusto.
Hold on, 2. Simultaneously, what's the strategic upside to that? Doesn't it leave you wide open on the flanks?
You'd think so, but it's a super aggressive move to just, dominate the middle of the park. By inverting both, they basically morphed into a 3-4-3 shape when they had the ball.
I see. So the wingers can stay really wide.
Exactly. It stretches the other team's defense and their midfield all at once. It's a very clever solution to create an overload.
And that system really explains why Gusto's performance was so, phenomenal. It was his first ever goal and assist in the same game, but the sources kept pointing to his technical skill.
Yeah, specifically hitting those long diagonal passes with his left foot from the middle of the pitch.
Why is that one detail so important?
Because he's a right-sided player. Using his weaker foot to switch the play like that means he doesn't have to slow down or shift his body. It's just pure vision.
So it's about speed of thought, speed of play.
Exactly. He's basically operating like a deep-lying playmaker, and he is just in incredible form right now.
Which brings us to the Reece James dilemma. This was a massive moment for him, fitness-wise.
Huge. Playing 90 minutes 3 times in 1 week.
For the first time in, 2.5 years?
Yeah. And people are saying he might be the best right back or maybe even the best central midfielder when he plays that role. So Maresca has a problem. A good problem, but a problem.
Gusto was on fire, James is back, and you've got Caicedo returning too. So it's not just who do you pick.
It's where do you play them? Do you move James into midfield and potentially lose some of that defensive rock he provides out wide? It's a real headache.
And that pressure isn't just an attack, it's firming up the whole defense. Chelsea now have 8 clean sheets this season.
Which is, joint most with Arsenal?
Exactly. And Chalobah, who just played his 100th game, is being called the first-choice center half. That kind of stability is huge.
Paired with Cole Palmer coming back into the team, he was so instrumental.
He got the first goal, his first since mid-September.
Right, and the sources just rave about his intelligence, the timing of his runs, making a really tough finish look completely effortless. He's their difference maker.
But this is where it all gets so contradictory.
Yeah.
Maresca is overseeing this tactically brilliant, defensively solid win. And yet...
That's getting all this criticism.
47. That's how many game-to-game changes he's made in the league. People say he messes around with a team too much.
So is he just keeping players fresh, or is he actually stopping them from building any kind of rhythm or consistency? That's the big question, isn't it?
It seems like he's caught. He has to develop this young, deep squad, but he also needs a settled first 11 to win now.
Which, brings us right back around to those comments he made.
Right. You win 2-0, you keep a clean sheet, and the first thing you want to talk about is internal conflict. The press asked if he was talking about the fans.
And he denied it, flat out.
So who is he talking about?
The consensus from all the analysis is that it was aimed squarely, internally, at the board, at the owners. It was after a midweek loss, and it seems he felt he didn't get enough protection, enough support from the top.
And this is such a critical point for you, the learner, to think about. This is a huge job for Maresca, his biggest so far.
Oh, absolutely. Coming from Leicester to this.
And the commentators are basically saying that calling out your multi-billionaire owners through the press.
Especially after a win.
it's just not going to end well for him. It's an incredibly risky game to play.
So you have this team that's showing real defensive stability. They've got world-class talent like James and Gusto firing. And yet, the manager himself is the one putting his own job security in the spotlight.
It paints such a complex picture for you to take away. Maresca chose to create this public story of conflict instead of just, focusing on the tactical win and the 3 points.
Which leaves us with a final thought. With all this young talent and tactical depth at his disposal, is Maresca's constant rotation, those 47 changes, a necessary evil to develop their careers? Or is he actually undermining the very consistency they need to reach that top level? Something to think about.